Okay, so this is session number 4, I believe, of the Call from the Deep campaign. So when we last left off, your group had just encountered, and let me pull out the map actually so we recall everything that happened. So when we last left off, your group was riding on your ship. You were fairly close to reaching the island of Gunderlin when you suddenly noticed that there was a boat floating in the water with some kind of like a bag, and something was clearly moving inside of the bag. Your ship was ambushed by a group of creatures called Sahuagin, which are like fish people, and they started attacking you. I think they managed to kill one, maybe two of the sailors who had come with you, but you managed to fend them off. You also discovered that the bundle, this moving bundle on this little boat, was in fact a person who had been captured, a young boy who told his side of the story. You could see that he was restrained with these rusty iron manacles. You discovered that the technology of these manacles would probably be something the Sahuagin would not normally have access to. They'd have to be given it in some way. And he described the tale of how he and his family were on a fishing boat when they were attacked by Sahuagin. He was knocked out, and the last thing he remembers, he woke up in a bag on a boat somewhere, and the next thing he knows, he's being rescued by your group. You also discovered a treasure chest, inside of which was a little bit of treasure, as well as a strange idol. Who has the idol on their character? That's
That would
Bianca.
be me. Yeah.
So you guys found this strange idol of a shark with the fins broken off. It is made from coral, and it also has these dots along the exterior of it. And those of you who touch the idol have a strange vision of events that you don't quite understand. Uh, Things cool down. The crew gathers the dead and the dying, begins to prepare their bodies for burial at sea, and your ship continues onward to the island of Gunderlin. So Gunderlin, we can see from here, is primarily composed of this long, barren stretch of mountains that run along the almost the entire length of the island itself. Not too many people come here. This island has a history that all of you know of piracy and reaving all over the areas surrounding the Sword Coast, as well as other islands further north and south of this one. Uh, it was relatively recently that the new leader of Gunderlin had managed to gather the Jarls of Gunderlin, these sort of small leaders of separate territories, and unify them and become the king of Gunderlin. And he has now joined this faction called the Lord's Alliance, which you were sent by to this island in order to investigate some kind of strange event. And so you have finally arrived after your 6-day long journey. Your boat sails into the main port city of Gundbarg. And let me pull up some information for you. So, emerging from the salty mist which hangs over the ocean is the island nation of Gunderlin. Piercing the sea spray on the eastern peninsula is a crumbling fortress which overlooks Gunbarg, the island's only port, and that is represented by this building here. As the wind catches in the sails, the voyage begins to pull in towards the islands. Don't worry, the reassuring voice of Captain Graysail calls out to you over the crashing waves. The folk here are only half as violent as the ocean that surrounds them. You eventually pull in, and the harbor is surrounded by these high stone walls which protect around a dozen longships. Each boat is of expert construction and in pristine condition. At the prow of each is a carved animal head, often a seabird or some other Arctic creature roaring with anger. From the shore, a young woman in red robes steps forth from a throng of folk wearing brightly colored garments over breastplates. "Welcome to Gunbarg," she cries. "King Redax has been eagerly awaiting your arrival. You must be tired and hungry from your journey. We have booked you rooms in the Dragon Turtle Inn. Tomorrow, after you are rested, King Redax would meet you in his Stonerise Keep." And so you are left along the docks here, given the necessary information of what to do and where to go in this little town of Gunderlin. Let me turn on some music in the background. So giving you a quick rundown of the map here. And can all of you see the Gunbarg map?
Yeah, I can.
Yep.
All right, cool. So this attendant, she points out some locations to you. This here, this long blue building, is the Dragon Turtle Inn, which is where rooms have been booked for you and paid. Food and other services will be rendered free for you so long as you stay here for the time period of this job that you have. She also points out if you wish to purchase any supplies or sundries, you can visit the Saltwood Storehouse over here. Otherwise, you are free to roam the village and the lands beyond. Just make sure that you arrive at the second hour after first light at Stonerise Keep. The king does not like to... the king does not appreciate those who are tardy, she says, before heading off down the road back towards the castle. So your group finds themselves here. The captain, Graysail, as well as the rest of the crew, stay on board to begin the process of repairs and things of that nature. So they'll always be accessible to you. You just need to let me know if you wish to speak to them or ask them any kinds of questions. And so you find yourselves here on this island. Where would you like to go?
Were the captain and the crew conscripted to pretty much get us here? Or
Exactly.
were they... Okay, so they're not going to investigate that shipwreck. They were just here to get us here.
Exactly. Yeah. They are here to usher you to your location and make sure you get here and back safely. The captain...
Oh, so they're going to hang out and take us back?
Yes, exactly. So they'll wait here, they'll
Okay,
repair
cool.
the ship, you complete your mission, and then you return to the ship, and they will take you anywhere you desire. So long as it is, of course, in tune with the mission at hand.
Sweet.
And so, yeah, you find yourselves here. Where would you like to go?
How long was the trip here?
The trip here
boat
is
trip?
6 days.
Okay.
None of you need to join me, but it is of great importance that I find a temple of Umberly pretty hastily. So I am going to look around for that.
Sure. You go off and search. Let's figure out what everybody else would like to do, and then we'll go one by one. Sif, what would you like to do?
Sif will hear what Dumma says, and you go and find what you need to find. I also have something I need to do. It's been far too long since I've touched real ground, and I'll cover our food for tonight. I feel like I'm gonna go hunting.
Okay,
I need
great.
to get a lay of the land.
How about Chimera?
I would request if Cora's free to do that sparring session that he promised during the trip.
Sure. Let me pull up Cora. So yeah, Cora gets off the boat with the group of you as well. He says that he has some business to attend to at this exact moment, but he will be available in the evening. He has also booked a room at the Dragon Turtle Inn, and he says that there's a field outside in which we can practice.
Okay, that sounds great. I guess if we're meeting with everyone, when are we meeting with everyone again? That's
Tomorrow,
We're meeting the king
basically,
tomorrow morning.
yeah, tomorrow morning at
tomorrow morning.
like 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay, so there's some hefty downtime.
Yes, it's early in the
Um,
morning already, so you have a full day.
I think since Chimera's been on a boat for 6 days, she's craving some local delicacies. So she'll probably wander around the city to get a lay of the land since she's never been here before and look for a nice place to eat.
Sure. Okay. And how about Kai?
Yeah, I think I'd also be walking around town, um, just trying to scope out places, maybe stop off at the tavern or the inn that we're staying at as well.
Sure. All right. So you're gonna be sticking with Chimera, it sounds like.
Sure, yeah, we could go together
Okay.
if you'd like.
So let's Sathir is going to he's got some brooding to do. So he's gonna go brood. So he's brooding. Domo. You know that towns like this probably wouldn't have a full temple, but because of its proximity to the sea, you know that there are bound to be shrines in particular locations dedicated to the goddess of Umberly and other beings of the ocean. And it isn't long for you to find one. In fact, you speak with a man who understands your position as a priest, and he gladly takes you on a tiny little raft over to this island here, in which you find a shrine dedicated to Umberly, a woman part elf, part fish in appearance, with scales along the sides of their face, holds a trident as these two parted waves crash in opposite directions around her. Stands before you. What do you do?
It's not an actual woman. It's a statue.
It's a statue of the goddess, exactly.
Okay. I want to. I don't know. I like to think the way I perform rituals, like I spread some water out on the ground or like at the base of the statue, and kind of try and read it, almost like tea leaves or something. But the shapes in the water and the way it like dribbles down and stuff like that.
Sure. Are you casting like a specific spell or?
Yeah, I'll cast. I guess I'll cast augury, right? Yeah, I'm gonna cast augury.
Cool. Go for it. So let's see. You perform this ritual. And you cast it as a. Can you cast that as a ritual? I'm just curious. It is a ritual casting spell, so I'll give you back your spell slot. Okay,
Yes.
so you take your time to cast this spell, and it allows you to receive an omen of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. Okay, I will generalize that right now. But what is the general course of action that you would like to take, and ignore the 30-minute time limit?
Yeah, I guess I'm just looking for how Umberly feels about this shipwreck here, like what we are currently investigating. You know, like continuing. It could be the next 30 minutes because we're continuing to investigate what we came here to do. It's just like looking our journey forward from here.
Sure.
Like,
The outcome you receive is woe. Meanwhile, Sif, you head off in the direction of the nearest wood and the fields beyond in order to scope out the region for various animals. Why don't
While
you?
I'm heading out of town, can I just I have a question I want to ask, but I'm not sure who to ask it to. It's just
Sure.
about the general part of the town. So I'm looking to see, like, you said something about the pirate. I don't know. This is friendly to pirates, or the island is. Is that correct?
Well, the island, they used to be known as pirates here,
Okay.
like piratous Vikings, but that has changed in recent years as this new king has taken control of the island.
Okay. So I'm gonna be heading out of town to go hunting, and I'm trying to get an idea if I think maybe whoever brought my friend here would have landed here. Like if somebody was trying to sell humans or traffic them, this doesn't seem like the kind of place they'd go to. Maybe they dock somewhere else. Is the impression I'm getting? Is that accurate, or am I wrong?
It's this particular port, probably not. But because you don't know much about the geography of the island, that would be something that you would have to ask somebody else for information on. But you don't see like based off of what you know about this particular port, I'll even say you could maybe you've spoken to some of the other crew members about Gunderlin. You know this area to be fairly accepting and modernized to the ways of the Sword Coast, and they wouldn't accept slavery or trafficking in that way here.
Okay, so if you're sneaky, you could do it, but they're not gonna like shake your hand if they find you doing it.
Right. They might arrest you, in fact. They would be
Yeah.
opposed to it.
Okay, cool. So knowing that and kind of knowing that this island seems very large and Sif is not familiar with this landscape in particular, as part of hunting, I just like to investigate the plants, investigate the wildlife, and just get a feel for the island so I feel more comfortable in, later encounters we're gonna have here.
Sure. Let's see. I'll
And I like to
say
hunt something.
while you're on this process of hunting, you're also scouting the wilds and the areas beyond Gunderlin or Gunbarg, I should say. What you learn is that this is actually a fairly barren island. Like you could see why people have in the past turned to piracy and reaving. Plants do grow here, but it's not lush. It is very rocky, difficult for things to grow. Not to mention the temperature and the climate seems to be fairly harsh. There are chill winds even this early on into the winter cycle that are like cooling you to the bone. They have your typical mountainous fare of creatures, birds, goats in particular that roam the region. Even in town, you saw people probably primarily feed themselves off of hardier foods of the ocean rather than things of the land itself. Fish, shellfish, sea plants of that nature. It doesn't seem like they farm too much in these outer regions. But in your time hunting, you do manage to find a rather sizable and healthy-looking goat that you manage to capture, or you have it in your sights if you wish to capture it.
I do. Looking around, this place seems like, I guess if I was talking about like our planet, like kind of a tundra-ish area. It's not
Yes.
obviously it's cold, but it's very hard to grow things here. It's hard to live here. It's a bit
Yes.
harsh.
It's not a brutal environment, but it is a harsher environment than you're used to in your lush, bountiful forests.
Okay, so Sif usually the hunt for him is part of the tribe. It's part of everything he does, and it's very enjoyable and fun. On this new island, looking around, he's realizing that a lot of the stuff that came easier before is going to be much harder. So rather than approach this like a game, he's going to really dial in, take a deep breath, and try to get this thing and not have it be a game. Have it be actually life and death, maybe.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you go off chasing after this
Like,
goat.
get this food.
And let's see, with your Outlander ability, I think you just kind of do it, right?
I can just collect food, I think, for the buy it. Yeah. If I
Sure.
really needed to like invoke mechanics, I guess I just get some amount of food I can forage, but
All
I
right.
want to
So
know the area.
let's see. Because of your Wander ability, you have an excellent memory for maps and geography. So as you're walking around, you're understanding everything around you. You're getting a good feel for this place. Da, da, da.
Also, he's making a mental note that we need to buy some cold weather clothing because it's not going to get any warmer.
Cold weather clothing would be very useful, and it can be purchased here, I believe. Yeah. All right. So eventually, you will come back with a goat, but you would have to describe how that all went down.
Sure.
Meanwhile, back in town, Kai and Chimera, the two of you, are sort of like wandering around the town. You see the Dragon Turtle Inn. You decide to pass by it. You're going to come back around at some point just so you can get a full lay of the land. And you can see that the people here are simple. They're kind of giving you both like weird looks. It's apparent that you two look very different from the majority of people on this island. Most people here, in fact, probably 99% of them are human. And they all look fairly similar to pale skin with brown to reddish brown hair. Some of them are blonde. You can see these rows of Viking warriors getting into their long ships, and they have very similar broad and long physiques built for rowing over incredibly long stretches of time. They regard you, and you get a sense that if things were a little bit different, they might even attack, but they just sort of keep their distance, watching you curiously and with a little bit of trepidation in their eyes. Eventually, you make your way to one of the few places that seems somewhat hospitable towards you, a place called the Saltwood Storehouse. You can smell what sounds like pickled fish and other meats inside. And despite their sort of unappetizing appearance, the scent of them is actually rather alluring. And so you head in to try these local delicacies. As you step inside, you are immediately met by, I'll show it to everybody actually. You're immediately met by a kindly face, a younger man, actually like a middle-aged man, who looks at you and says, don't get many mainlanders here. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Welcome to the Saltwood Storehouse. And you get a look around the place, and they sell kind of everything. It's a large shop that has shelves upon shelves full of goods and crates from all over the Sword Coast, you imagine. It seems like a massive importing and exporting hub, of which this guy sells a great deal of materials and supplies here. You also see, curiously, a wooden sign on the counter, painted by hand, that reads, "Potions of water breathing available, just ask." And so if you guys wish, you can purchase basically any item in the player's handbook that's non-magical and under 100 gold pieces here. I believe I put all of those items in here. I apologize if they're missing something, but with this menu, you should be able to search for a specific item if you're interested, filter by different types of items like weapons and equipment, etc. You could always get another donkey. Do they have donkeys?
Some kind
they
of
sure,
water donkey.
they sure do.
A water donkey.
Before we have this interaction, or I guess I would like to start off the interaction, looking at this middle-aged man, and I'll say, yes, pleasure to meet your acquaintance. You must be Saltwood. I've met Store Hornraven, on my travels here to Gunderlin, and he recommended your store for warm clothing.
Yes. Oh, Raven. A kind fellow. Big man. Glad to hear he's back on the island. I imagine you're the group that came with him. Yes, if you're looking for cold weather clothing, you found the right place. Now, they might not be in fashion, but they will keep you warm nonetheless, all in the style of Gunderlin.
I see. Lovely. And then, yeah, I guess I'll purchase some warm clothing.
All right, so let's see. Clothes, common. So you can go ahead and, if you look in there, there is clothes travelers. Go ahead and purchase that for 2 gold pieces.
That's
Oh, I think
really-
Zathir was holding all of the money.
Oh, that's right,
So
he is.
how does that work?
Let's see, how much?
Need to go find him somewhere.
Let's see.
We had a bunch of money, I think.
Inventory. You have like 300 gold pieces.
Oh yeah.
You can buy so many donkeys.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Let's see. Okay.
While you're taking the money away, I'll also buy warm clothing because I'm assuming I don't have warm clothing for this climate.
Sure. What is this? What is this button?
Yes.
So I don't know if I can buy it, but whatever money you need, I'll just add it back to you. So just let me know when you're going to buy something, and I'll take it from Zathir and add it to you. But you both should have some cash on hand as well.
But I want
And-
to use the new money.
I don't use my own money.
Tell you what, there's 253 gold pieces. I'll give everybody 50 gold pieces. So let's see, Kai has 60. Chimera has 75. Sif. Inventory gold. You have 60.
That's enough for 1 potion of healing, so I'll buy that.
And Domo, you have 65, and I'll take 200 away from Zathir. So everybody has money.
Did he say how much the potions of water breathing are?
He will if you ask him about him, but there's no price listed. So now you can go ahead and feel free to purchase things. If you wish to open this menu up again, you can just, I believe, double click on this. And I don't know if there's like a distance limitation. I feel like anybody can do it.
I'll do it now. I'll just say I went there later.
Sure, that's totally fine.
I'm gonna buy 1 of the potion of healings. Because they have 4 total.
Ooh, bagpipes.
Now I'm reconsidering the potion of healing. How many bagpipes do they have?
I think they have
I don't know.
They probably
Infinite.
have on infinite. Yeah, there's literally an infinity sign.
It's only 30. Bird pipes too. We could have a whole
A little
Have a
band.
pipe group?
orchestra.
You can get a Zulkoon,
Flute.
which apparently is a complex pump organ. Or you can get a
Ooh, a pan
Yartang.
flute.
I don't mind a dragon chess set or a disguise kit seems pretty good.
Yarting.
I want to buy something else, but I've got a question about it because I want to buy a portable ram because it helps me break down doors better, but it's listed under consumable. So is it just a one-time use thing?
No, it's you just keep it.
Okay. I'm gonna buy a portable ram.
Oh, let's see. One of the characters can help you
Oracle.
use the RAM, giving you advantage. I think you just keep it. I don't think it's a single.
scatters
use
every time you
RAM.
use it.
I'm sorry. What the cold weather clothing?
You
Yeah.
can just buy traveler's clothes.
Okay, traveler's clothes.
If you already have traveler's clothes, does that count?
Yep.
Cool.
How many games now have we played where you guys had to buy cold weather clothing? I feel like this is like the third
It
or
usually
fourth
comes up.
campaign.
At some point, some designer's like, we gotta make it harder.
I
It sucks
think
to be outside in the cold. So.
I wonder if I just like winter, and so I'm just
Yeah, you're picking it?
I'm just subjecting you guys to winter in every campaign.
We haven't done the reverse, where like you have to go somewhere really, really hot, and you can't wear like heavy armor because it's just too fucking hot.
Like
Go
a
get your
desert game could be
Speedo.
fun. If we played, ever played Dark Sun, that could be fun because the whole game
Yeah.
is you're in like a horrible, harsh, oppressive desert.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's no metal, so all of your weapons and things are made from like bug parts and bone.
Tightness, right? Also, I bought a potion and it didn't. I don't think it gave me the potion and it didn't reduce the potion count. It just took my money.
Let me take a look. I see you have 2 potions of healing in your inventory.
Oh, I just see one. Maybe I
If you-
gotta.
If you
refresh my
hover
machine or
over your
something.
potion of healing, it'll say 2 next to it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. Sweet. But it didn't reduce the number of potions of healing in the store. It still says 4.
Is that the case? Let me take a look. Potion of healing. I'll change that to 3. Lots of manacles. What are you gonna use those manacles for?
Those my manacles.
You got a problem with that?
She has some salacious thoughts. She's like, hmm.
Like everybody else looks weird when I buy these. They're just for grabbing prisoners. It's not a problem.
Right?
Okay, well
I feel
then-
like we're gonna need this on the ship. Like, we have all these encounters with people. What if we don't want to kill them? But we could just like lock them up.
Sure, yeah, that's what you're buying. Is what everyone's saying.
Yeah, so you bought the pink fuzzy ones for the
Yeah, you're like, no,
prisoners,
it's
huh?
reasonable. It's the one they had.
With glitter.
What what are we doing with encumbrance again?
Whatever's on the character sheet is fine.
Okay.
Are you already over?
Yeah.
Your character,
Oh,
your character doesn't have a lot of strength, so that makes sense.
I'll carry something if you would like me to carry something. I have 100 encumbrance left.
am I not getting a reduction for scale mail is 45 pounds?
Yes. So even if you're wearing it, it counts towards your encumbrance. It's not like in Warhammer where it's like, oh, if you're wearing it, it doesn't count.
Hmm.
You could always get lighter armor. I think there is like chainmail.
I was just gonna buy a backpack. Put my what was
Oh, is a backpack a good idea in this game too? Like, does it help with encumbrance?
oh yeah, maybe it doesn't.
A backpack can hold up to 30 pounds of gear. I don't know if it adds to your encumbrance.
It has
rating.
a weight of 5, so maybe it does.
I wonder if you can click and drag stuff into the backpack like in Warhammer.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy this. See what happens here.
Well, you already have a backpack on your character sheet.
Oh, did I?
Yep. Now you have 2.
I see 1 in parentheses, and I didn't see it before.
It's weird. It says backpacks 1, but then if you hover over backpack, it says you have 2 now. So I'll give you back your
Okay.
2 gold pieces.
Okay.
60.
Yeah, that is very strange. I have a backpack that weighs 5 pounds, but nothing apparently in it.
Can you drag like a torch into it or something?
I tried dragging my rope into it. Didn't seem like it did anything.
Yeah.
Let me see if it does anything.
The store doesn't want to close.
You can't close the store. Try refreshing. I don't know what to tell you. Do backpacks work in D&D 5e?
Okay, I just equipped it, so now it turned green.
Well, how about this? Tell you guys what.
It's like doing it's there's like a weird animation when I try to drag it over backpack, but I've also had terrible luck with the character sheet. Like I go to edit notes and it doesn't save ever.
Really? In your journal?
Yes. There's like a little lock icon that's on there, and I unlock and lock it, and I've tried every way, and then sometimes, like, I don't know, it's just weird. Sometimes it seems to save.
Are you
and
like
sometimes-
so? If when you have the journal entry open for editing, right? Like I'm inside of it, I'm typing in it right now. You have
Yeah.
to hit there's a little save and close editor button. You got to hit that, and then it persists. If you're in the editor and you're typing, and then you like lock, you hit the disable editing lock button, it won't save your changes at all.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure if that'll help you, but just keep that in mind. And if it's not working, I don't know what to say. I don't make any of these, so I have no way of knowing that, but I'll just write it down and let people know that it's not working.
Yeah. I have it unlocked, and I type something, and I click that save and close editor, and it disappeared.
It disappeared again. I would. The only thing I could say is use something else to save your notes. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I started doing.
Gotcha.
But that's why I'm wondering, like, when I'm dragging and dropping, like, is it not actually doing anything?
Let me take a
Like,
look. So
yeah.
let me take a look.
Can you
see if I
try
can-
dragging?
Doesn't seem like I can drag stuff into there either. So I'm going to assume you can't add stuff to backpacks. I'll see if there's a module for that, maybe. I know there's one called Backpack Manager, so I'm assuming maybe that one will help. But until then, we'll figure that out next game. If you're receiving penalties because of your encumbrance, mechanically, let me know, and I'll make sure to figure that out for you. But in the
Where
meantime,
can I see encumbrance on here?
at the very bottom of your character sheet, it's that big blue bar.
Oh, I see. I see. Great.
Yeah, I definitely need to offload some stuff if this is affecting me.
I
I'll
didn't
take some
realize
stuff.
manacles were so heavy. 6 pounds.
Oh yeah, like they're not like handcuffs. Handcuffs are
No,
little.
no.
Manacles are like you're like,
We're getting into some serious shit here.
yeah, exactly.
These aren't your ordinary manacles.
All right, so you guys, let's see. You guys spend a little bit of time. You're all doing your own individual things. Domo, after your ritual has been completed and you've received your answer from your god, what would you like to do?
I'll check out this island. See if there's any. What are these buildings over here? What's going on, and what are they doing out here?
Sure. You head to these small buildings, and they appear to be tombs to some of the older or previous kings and queens of the island of Gunderlin. Some of their names have been washed away by the ocean. They must be probably hundreds of years old at this point. But you get a little brief insight into the history of the island. Sif, you return with your goat. The encounter went, I don't know, you tell me, how did it work out?
Because Sif took a knee, I guess, and decided to take a break and not make such a game out of it, it went fine. He was able to corner it and kill the goat, and he's bringing it back. He doesn't have too much in the sense of like cooking skills, but he does have like a pouch of some wood elf seasoning, so hopefully that'll be appealing to everybody else's, sensibilities.
You got a packet of it. Is that like El Paso taco mix or something?
It's pretty much exactly the same thing.
All right, so
It's very generic.
You begin walking back into town. At the Saltwood storehouse, Kai and Chimera, you've purchased some belongings. You've looked at some of the other things they have available for you. What do you do?
I guess I'll ask Saltwood about the happenings in Gunderland. Since he's good friends with Store, he probably has some like insight on what's been going on in the area before we meet with everyone tomorrow.
Sure. Let me see. They tell you, he tells you pretty easily just about some of the things that have been going on in Gunbarg in particular. Ever since King Red Axe has taken over, things have been better for him and his family, at least in their capacity as owners of this storehouse. There is much more free and open trade, which he is quite happy about. More and more travelers are beginning to make their way here to purchase strange things, and things that this island produces that nowhere else does. Things like the scrimshaw artwork, which is carved fish bone shaped into anything an artist can imagine. It's basically just a crafting material. As well as some of the other things like salted fish and some of the things around the coast. Nothing too extraordinary, nothing too, for someone of your taste, particularly interesting, but it is the lifeblood of the town for sure. He does tell you that there is a little bit of worry about this strange event that happened to the west with regards to this crash. He asks you pretty clearly, like, have you heard about this? Is this why you are here, perhaps?
No, I haven't. And the bell just rang. So wait one sec.
Sure, go for it. Kai, what about you? What are you up to?
I think I'm gonna take a walk around town, see, maybe go to the inn,
Sure.
have a drink.
All right, yeah, you stop by the Dragon Turtle Inn and chat. So the Dragon Turtle Inn is a salt-encrusted stone edifice close to the docks. Although not outwardly inviting, the inn is well known amongst travelers as the best place to get a good ale on the island. Inside, a huge fire roars in a semicircular hearth decorated with ivory and steel. The circular bar in the middle of the inn is manned by a pair of lanky, fair-haired twins whose bushy beards sweep the counter as they dispatch drinks to the locals. Coming back to Chimera really quickly, yes. So he ended with asking you if you've heard about this strange vessel crashing to the west.
I go and I respond, yes, I have. Where exactly is that? May I ask?
Close to a town named Fiskerbach, far to the west of here, a couple of days' travel. Ruled by a mighty and terrifying Jarl Frostgale. A hothead, or so I've heard. I've never had the pleasure of meeting her.
And where is this location again?
Far to the west. And so, let me show you the map. So your group is here. Fiskerbach is here.
Fiskerbach. Okay. I guess lastly, I would go and ask him, does this area have any landmarks or places that have been here for quite a long time that the townsfolk hold high value to as places to visit during our stay?
I have to say, this island isn't much of a tourist destination. It's cold here. The mountains are not particularly large, nor are they particularly beautiful. They're dangerous to walk upon, and some people say even cursed.
Interesting.
Yes, the people of this island are a simple folk. We wish only to live our lives. I don't think many people will be coming here for the natural beauty of the island, but we have some things to offer.
Okay, lovely. Well, it was really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And you head on out.
Cool.
Did you want to go meet up with Kai back at the tavern?
I'm interested in this little island off the coast. Like, if I go to like the beach, would I be able to see what's there?
From this location, you can see that there's an island off to the west. It doesn't seem particularly inhabited. There are some forestation upon it. You do have the ability to swim with ease, and so you could travel there relatively quickly if you wish.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll go do it.
You
I'll
hop
go
into the
swimming.
water, and you're there just a matter of seconds. You come out of the water. You can see what looks to be recent footprints and a shrine of a particular god that perhaps I'll say you recognize as the goddess Umberly, one of the gods of the sea. You remember that this is the same deity that Domo worships and adheres to. You can see the remains of
Oh,
what looks to be a
interesting.
ritual of some kind that you don't understand. And then you can see these tracks lead away from the sandy, rocky shores up into the forested area further east.
Oh, that's odd. Would I be able to, I mean, like, I don't have any tracking skills or anything, but I guess does the path, like, would the path in any way indicate that this is Domo, or would I believe it's a different person?
You could make the assumption it's Domo.
Okay. Is there anything else on this island that I see other than the shrine, or?
Apart from that, you don't really see too much. It just seems like a relatively uninhabited island, perhaps too uneven and forested to build much upon without a lot of effort on the part of the creators.
Now that I think of it, I guess Chimera will go and gaze off into the ocean and ponder and think of where that little boy we rescued went.
You
Like,
recall
where?
you recall seeing him being taken away by the lady in red who greeted you at the dock. She communicated with Captain Callus, who basically explained the story to her that they found this boy, and he claims to be a native of Gunderlin. And she took him to Stonerise Keep, perhaps to make sure that his wounds are healed. At least the impression she gave is so that they could tend to whatever wounds he had and also ask him some questions about the events that led to him being captured.
Interesting. Okay. And I guess from here, do I see I guess what I want to ask is this coast of Gunderlin mountainous, or is it more like hills and valleys and then the mountains are further?
The mountains
Inland.
are further inland for sure. This area there is vegetation, there is growth. It's clearly domesticated, but it is also kind of barren and patchy and rocky. And you get the sense that the winters here are particularly harsh. That if people survive here, they must survive off of like salted and preserved foods rather than anything fresh for several months out of the year.
Interesting. I don't know. I guess from this perspective and this angle, looking at the coastline and perhaps even like the cliff sides south of here, are there any like buildings that point out or might be like of interest to Chimera, like maybe this building here, or perhaps whatever's going on over here?
This building here stands out to you as the Stonerise Keep that was pointed to you earlier by the lady in red.
Okay.
You know that to be the castle of Gunbarg, where the king of Gunderlin resides. Another building that catches your interest is what looks to be a workshop for ship repairs right here. You can see a sign, but you're obviously too far away to read it. You can see some ships moored in with many ropes and cables sort of attaching them to a series of pulleys and wooden poles that sort of keep them locked in place. You imagine some kind of rigging that would allow a team of repairmen to traverse the ship, able and allow them the space of necessary in order to make all sorts of different repairs.
Okay.
Besides that, the only other place that really stands out to you is there's another tavern somewhere along the coast here. Let's say farther up here. You can see, or you can probably primarily hear what sounds to be a crowd of people there. You get the distinct impression that this is a bit more of a rough and tumble tavern rather than a nice inn that people can stay in.
I see. Okay. I think for a moment I'm just going to sit on the edge of like this island and dip my feet in the water
Sure.
and just kind of enjoy swimming.
You look down at your reflection briefly in the water, and it looks back at you, and it smiles. And then we return to Kai. Kai,
Fuck.
you step into
What?
you step into the tavern, and you can see these. There are a number of people in here already. Some of them kind of turn their heads over to look at you. Because of your, I'm gonna say because of your pirate nature, they look at you and they regard you with a nod, and then they return back to their to whatever it is that they were doing before. They're drinking, they're gambling, their conversations, and you can see these two old men, obviously twins with these long gray beards, walking around, cleaning while one of them tends the bar. What do you do?
I'm gonna go up to the bar and introduce myself to the older twins who are working there and ask for an ale.
The one at the bar introduces himself to you. Orthan Lead. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. He hands you an ale. He says, I believe you came in on that ship earlier. The voyage. Everything here is free of charge for you and the rest of the crew.
Fantastic, and I hear it's just the place to get the best ale in town.
Well, you can certainly get an ale. Clean, at least. Not a drop of spit in our cups, unlike that dang Crow's Nest Tavern up north.
Dueling
Yeah, what's
taverns.
the dirt on them?
Trust me. He takes one look at you. You don't want to go there. There ain't nothing but the dingiest, foulest Vikings this way since Baranzo.
Interesting. So what's there to do around here? Is there anything exciting that you people like to do on this island, or any events coming up?
Well, gotta tell you, this place ain't much for visitors. We don't got much in terms of what to sell, except for some scrimshaw, maybe some fish, things of that nature. What this island does have, though, and the other brother cuts in before he can finish. Warriors! We got the best warriors on the sea. Orthan looks at his brother and says, I was just about to say that. Why do you always have to cut me off? Mancer says, you don't get to the point fast enough. This lady wants to know. We got the best warriors ever. See those long ships outside? 50 people on each side, each with an oar. They can traverse all the way from here to the Sword Coast in half the time it takes for that galleon that you came in on.
Wow, that's incredible. I would love to go on one of those ships sometime.
That's real manpower for you. Gotta have the right build for it. Neither of us got it. And they both look down and shake their heads. You get the distinct sense that they don't like where they ended up being, but that is the way it is.
Like they got rejected from the Big Bros Club.
So what brings you into town?
We're here on a mission, and we're gonna talk to the king tomorrow, right? That's what we're up to.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
He
Sorry,
nods back at you,
guys.
yes.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah, so I guess stuff has been happening on this island, and we're here to investigate for him. Do you happen to know anything about that? Have you heard, or
Give me a persuasion check. Ooh, a natural one.
No.
Would you like to use your point of inspiration to re-roll it?
Sure, I will. How do I do that? Do I like
Hey, just roll it again, and you get
just
rid
roll?
of.
Okay.
And then just click the inspiration on your character sheet to get rid of it.
Better.
That's much better.
Yeah.
One of the Vikings at a nearby table speaks up. I've heard of such things. I've seen. Hold on, just one second. Let me read this really quick. Just a few days ago, coming from the west of the island, from the village of Fiskerbach, a couple passed through here. Nothing too unusual about that, but these two, they had these strange eyes, as if filled with water. Couldn't focus on anything. Don't recall where I saw them last. Don't think anyone does. They just up and disappeared one day. Haven't seen them since. Another person chimes up. I saw them. They both walked straight into the harbor, hand in hand.
Like into the ocean?
She nods. Aye, just the same.
Would Kai know anything about like different species, like water species that would be able to like breathe underwater or live underwater?
Nothing about this rings a bell to you. You ask for further details, perhaps, but they say these people looked human.
They looked human. Okay. Just with watery eyeballs.
Yes.
Hmm.
If you ask me, them's was cursed.
Did they come in on a ship? How did they get to the island?
By
Or who
road,
did they come in with?
along the western road. It takes you all the way to Fisterbach, and even further on to Baronzo. And when he says Baronzo, he and a bunch of others in the tavern, they all sort of like tilt their heads down as if to offer a silent prayer.
What's over there?
Oh, Baronzo. You don't want to go there, miss. Nobody goes there anymore.
Is it a dead town? Was there like a plague or?
You could say that. And one of the men, Horthan, he speaks up a little bit. Aye. Nobody goes there anymore, and for good reason. Built over a century ago. My father, I remember, told us a story about it when we were small lads. Apparently it was built by outsiders. Kalashites, I believe. They were hoping to establish a mining operation here on the island. They offered the warriors of the island weapons and things of that nature in exchange for rights to this particular mine. So we gave it to them. This is an island of warriors. We need capable weapons. But something went wrong. The brother cuts in again. Yes, get to the point. So what happened was the ore from these ships. It was cursed, I say. Yes, that's right. Ships would collect the ore, and then they would leave the island, and they would sink almost immediately. People would delve deep into the mines themselves, and when they would return, their minds would be corrupted. They would be changed forever. Or worse, they would never return at all. The first brother, Horthan, he speaks up again. Aye, what my brother speaks is true. It wasn't long before the mine itself closed down, and the village that sprung up around it eventually disappeared into ruin. There aren't anybody living that lives over there anymore, at least. And the mines, well, last I heard, they're still cursed. You delve too deep into them, you come out changed, and never for the better. No, it's not Warpstone. I swear it's not
Are there
Warpstone.
Skaven! It's the
Yeah.
Skaven!
Have you heard of any like somewhat tall rat people?
I swear to God it's not Warpstone or Skaven. But that would be cool if it was.
Not saying it
Yeah,
is,
just
but it would be
rewrite
cool.
the campaign, you know? Imagine like the crossover episode.
Yeah, it just becomes Warhammer out of nowhere.
Yeah,
all
like
your
our,
mechanics are changed now.
our characters meet up with our Warhammer characters.
It's Conrad. He's elbow deep in a Viking lady.
Kai is gonna, be very sympathetic or empathetic for a moment with these people, telling the tale about that sad town. So no one goes there anymore? Is
Oh.
it safe to even pass through it, or is it just like people avoid it?
Try our best to avoid it. There are areas beyond that some people like to reach for fishing and whatnot, but it's always better to go around, I say.
And how long does it take to travel to that part of the island?
Yeah, well, from here to Fiskerbach, it takes about 3 days. Not a particularly difficult trip. There is a road that was built within the past few years that can take you straight there. Onward to Baronzo, perhaps another day, maybe less if you move at a fine pace.
You don't suppose that's where the trouble is coming from on the island?
Oh, well, what do you mean trouble? What do you mean by that?
Well, we're here to. There's something going on the island, right? That's why we're here.
Just 1 second.
We're here to like solve this mystery or whatever is happening. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
can't really remember too much from our first session.
No, it's okay.
We're just gonna do the same thing we did in Warhammer, and just like, all right, tell me everything you know. We're gonna
Give
meet all
me
the
a
people.
whole history, yeah.
Let's see. They say, it could be. Strange things have been happening in that area recently. A family, an entire family, went missing just, no more than a 10-day ago. What was their name? The brother chimes up again. The Rime Waves, you bloomin' idiot! Ah, yes, that's right, the Rime Waves.
And they're from here, from
From near Fiskerbach. A family of fisher folk, they are.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Maybe we'll look out for that.
I believe I saw one of the Fiskerbach boys recently. I think yes, that's right, he came off of that boat you were on.
But his family went missing.
Yes.
Oh. I'm sure he'll want to look for them too.
Let's see. Let's have... Domo. You've been investigating this area a little bit. You learned a little bit about the history of previous kings and queens of the island. What do you do next?
I think I'm heading back to the guy who brought me here.
Do you head back the way you came?
Yes.
As you are coming out of the forest, you see a woman with her feet in the water in front of her, and you recognize her as Chimera.
Oh, hello. I'm guessing Chimera's still a little drenched from swimming out here, so I'll just be like, seems like you found your own way out here, huh? What brought you over here to this island?
Oh, hey, Domo. I was just curious.
Yeah, didn't seem to be too much out here. There were some old tombs and a shrine to the goddess I pray to. I didn't find much, but she doesn't seem too happy about what we're doing here, or what we're looking into. I'm a little worried about the journey further.
Really? Us specifically?
I don't know if it's us specifically, but uh, maybe just the journey in general. I received some bad omens on our voyage over here, and now praying to her here at her shrine, uh, she is still quite displeased.
You don't say. I wonder what's upsetting her.
I do as well. I was hoping for a larger temple. Maybe we could find one on the way. I was going to try and talk to the man. It was a man that brought me over here, right?
Yes.
Rode me over. The man on the way back to see if he had any more information. You're, of course, welcome to join, but I can see you enjoy the water quite a bit. So if you want to swim back on your own, that's fine too.
No, I think I tired myself out. Um, hmm. But I guess you could go without me. I don't know if it costs extra fare to have an extra passenger.
Oh no, he brought me out here on his own. I don't think he would be worried about another passenger.
Okay, thanks.
You wave over to the man. He's not too far. He sees you. It takes him a little while, but he gets in the boat, and he begins rowing over to you. He regards the both of you. He totally lets Chimera on as well, and ferries the two of you back over to the mainland.
While he's doing so, I do want to ask him. How did you know that shrine was out there? Are you do you worship Umberlee as well?
He reaches into his cloak, and he pulls out a symbol of Umberlee. I worship many ocean gods, the old and the new. It's good to keep them all on your side. You never know which one will spite you, or which one will bless you.
Indeed, they seem to be a spiteful bunch. Are there any other worshippers here in town?
You won't find many worshippers of Umberlee here, I'm afraid. This island worships older gods than that. Not even gods, you can probably call them. The elements. The world itself. Strength. Virtue. Notions and concepts. This is the way of Gunderland. Simple folk, with a simple meaning in life. To fight. Once to plunder. But now, hopefully, to bring peace to the lands beyond.
A noble goal. I can't say I've been well versed in the ways of old. Who is it that you hold most dear to you of the gods?
I can't say. It's like picking a favorite parent. I like the one that helps me most at the moment.
I see. I don't suppose you know of any larger gatherings of worshippers of Umberlee, a shrine nearby, or anywhere along the way on this island.
Can't say I do, but I think I know someone who would. He points over at the storehouse. Over there you'll find a woman who works there. Ancient old lady. Think she's been... Gotta say, she must have been ancient even when I was but a boy. Her name is, Granny Saltwood. She's a believer.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your service in rowing me over there.
Anytime. He returns to his tending of the boat. You can see he has a big bottle that he's like constantly uncorking and drinking from. So you're not sure what he really does on these docks, but he seems like a nice guy. Do you head over to the storehouse?
I want to mention to Chimera real quick. On the journey back, did you notice that that shipwright building? Do you think perhaps the gnome works there?
The gnome? What do you mean?
Yes, I think we in Zathir's Tears, right? Is that where we learned about the gnome who may know of the magic that brings the ships underwater?
Oh, really? I completely forgot about that. Out of character, I completely forgot about all that. I don't even think I took notes on that either. Shame on
I
me.
I don't know. I didn't take notes as to whether that was here or not.
That must have happened while I stepped away. I have notes of everything.
But no, you're absolutely right. You remember hearing this from Zathir.
Right, that it was in.
Oh, okay. So
Gunderbad?
his name's what?
Oh, I don't believe we got a name, but just that there was a gnome that may know about that magic here.
He might work at the repair shop for the ships that's down there. I'll go and I'll inquire, see if I see any gnomes there.
Okay, I will head to the Saltwood storehouse then, and meet you at the shipwright building afterwards.
All right, so you head over, Chimera. You head over to the shipwright. Sif, are you in the process of preparing this goat?
Hell no, I'm bringing it back to have someone else make it for me.
Okay, so you bring it back into the Dragon Turtle Inn. So you step in. You open the door and you step in with this goat on your shoulders. And some of the other people look at you. And then they raise their glasses and go, "Hi, a real man brings his own goat." And they go, "Ah!" And they start drinking in honor of how cool and manly you are.
This is something that Sif might know, but I definitely don't know. And an average goat like this, or maybe even a slightly bigger goat, how many people can you feed with it?
Probably like 20
A bunch of people, right? Yeah.
I'm figuring one whole ass goat. That's a lot of meat on a goat. Probably like 10 or 20 people, I imagine.
Yeah.
Sif will get like toasted too about this manly act of bringing in food, and I'll say, I'm not the only one eating free tonight.
Ah!
I'll see if I can walk up to the bartender or somebody and say, hey, all I want is portions for my friends and me. If you guys could cook this up, I'll be happy to give the rest of it to the rest of the bar for free.
Man, sir, you know what to do with this. The other guy, the one who's not at the bar, he comes over to you. Yeah, just drop it off over here. I'll take care of it for you.
There you
Thanks,
go.
Sif. You've been busy.
There's not much out here, I'll be honest. I haven't seen someplace this desolate in a while. It's hard to find food, it's hard to find meat, but if you know where to look.
Where'd she get the goat?
I chased it down a ravine and cornered it.
Sweet.
Took me a while to split it up from the rest of them, but it, comes in handy. How was your day? What'd you guys figure out?
I'll update him on what I found out from the bartenders.
Oh, so that kid we rescued, their family's missing too. I guess we already kind of knew that because they were missing.
Yeah, they were shipwrecked and...
Alright. So, Kai, I got a question for you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I know why I'm here. What are you getting out of all this? It's not exactly the most, friendly place to be. It's not a great place to visit even. It's kind of a harsh area. Why are you sticking through all this?
I don't mind the hard work. Just, needed to get away for a little bit. Also, my dad's been missing for so many years. I don't mind going to remote places and seeing if there's been any traces of him around here.
Well, you've definitely pulled your own weight on the ship. And I know something about hunting for people who are missing. It's kind of why I'm here. So if anything I can do to help you out, let me know. We're all kind of in this together for the moment.
Sure thing, I got your back too. And who are you looking for?
I had a previous group of friends I was hanging out with for a while. Had to leave them for a bit, and when I came back, them and most of the village they were in, it didn't make it. They got attacked by something. I don't know, but I think a few of them survived and got taken here. We talked to Zathir, and he knows a thing or two about talking to dead people, and the only clue I have is the name Gunderlin. So I came here. I figure if I can talk to the king, maybe they'll know something about the area and I can find these people, but to be honest, I don't have too much hope. But I gotta see this through.
Gotcha. Yeah, I really hope they didn't end up in Bronzo or something.
I hope your father's alive and well too. Hope we find everybody we're looking for.
All right.
Hey, but for now, nature provides, so hurry up with that food.
And the beer is free.
I'm working as fast as I can. God damn it.
Beer's free? Fuck yeah.
Drink up.
All right.
Sif will definitely drink up.
Chimera, you make your way to the shipwright, and you see the sign on the outside of it that labels this place as Gimlet's Ship Repairs. And when you step inside, let's see, there are these massive like wooden warehouse doors that seal the entrance to a sea cave near the harbor, and painted on these is a white anchor with the words Gimlet's Ship Repairs. And when you step inside of this massive warehouse, inside of which there is already a boat in the process of being repaired, you see what looks to be this complete chaos of ropes and pulleys and things of that nature. You can't make heads or tails of it. What you can see, however, is this gnome, this tiny female gnome, who is like quickly swinging from one rope to the other, attaching herself via some kind of strange contraption to these various ropes in this dizzying way as she scurries about like a spider on top of this boat, banging it with a hammer, zapping it with magic, and you can see she's just going around repairing these small things. And it's a completely chaotic scene. And it's just this one person in the entire building. She doesn't seem to notice your approach or that you've entered at all. What do you do?
I go and I look for, is there a service bell or anything there
Sure.
to get her attention?
Sure, you ring the bell, and almost the second you ring the bell, she drops down in front of you from one of these ropes like Spider-Man. She's upside down. And she goes, "Oh, hello!"
Hi.
"Oh, you're definitely not from around here. I can tell just by the way you look and your sound and your smell."
Well, you caught me red-handed.
"What can I do you for?" She flips right side up and lands on her feet. She's tiny, even for a gnome, and she has this big wad of something in her mouth that she's chewing on. She spits into a nearby spittoon, and when you look to the ground, you realize that there are spittoons everywhere. And it seems like she doesn't empty them very often either. She just has one in every location instead of having one single spittoon to use.
I go and I keep a smile and I say, word around here is that you know how to make ships sail underwater?
"Oh, I've heard of such a thing. Now, where'd you hear that I know such a thing?
From a friend that I traveled here with to Gunderlin. He went and he mentioned that a gnome that runs a ship repair shop would happen to know this kind of magic. I was just curious.
Oh, well, I've certainly heard of such a thing, that's for sure. Now, you see, there's this spellcraft that someone has been able to develop that enfolds the ship inside of a bubble. Now, the bubble forms a barrier between the water and the air trapped inside. Inside of this bubble, the ship can traverse underwater, much like a turtle would float from one place to another. Spectacular magic, if you ask me.
It also sounds extremely powerful
Oh,
and something hard to come by.
yes, very rare, very difficult to come by indeed. I do not know how to produce such an effect, unfortunately. I'd love to learn, but, well, I've got my work cut out for me.
As a repair person, would you wouldn't happen to know anyone that knows or could possibly know this type of magic in Gunderlin, would you?
Sure, just give me 1 second. One second to find this name. In fact, why don't we take a 5-minute break? Give everybody a break because it'll take me a little minute to find the exact name that I'm looking for.
Cool.
Come back.
Cool.
Be right back.
Come back at 9:10.
Hello.
Hello.
I never got my portable RAM. It took my money.
Oh, did it never go to your inventory?
Yeah, I never added it.
Weird.
I tried messing with the backpack. Like if you go to edit, it lets you. It says like, oh, it is a whatever 30 capacity backpack. I made it 300. It didn't seem like it made any difference.
Weird.
I made it a waitlist property. So I thought maybe it would just like change your encumbrance thing automatically.
I'll be right back. Okay. So, the answer that she gives you is not a person, but a place. A place known as Orlumbor. She says, well, I may not know how to conduct such a thing, but if there's one place I know that would know, it would be Orlumbor. The best place on Earth to purchase yourself or repair a ship. No better port in all the world.
That's very resourceful. Thank you. And I don't think I caught your name.
Oh, my name is Oda. Oda Bowsprit.
Thank you so much for your time, Oda. I hope to see you again soon.
Hi, I'm sure you will. I'm destined to fix that ship of yours and starting tomorrow. I'm sure you and I will become fast friends.
Faster than you think.
She smiles and she tugs on a rope and she flings herself into the air back to her job, where immediately she returns to banging on things with
It's like a
a
spring-loaded
wooden
thing.
It no
Jumps back up.
just shoots up and she's back to doing whatever it was that she was before. Domo, you head into the storehouse and you communicate with the middle-aged man who works there, who's rather pleasant. He says that he recognizes you from the crew that came in on that ship earlier. Says he's already conversed with some of the other members of your party, and asks how can he help you.
I see that this is the Saltwood storehouse. Are you a Saltwood yourself?
Me? Oh no, the real owner is in the back.
Does she go by Granny Saltwood?
That she does.
I was hoping to converse with her, if I may.
Sure, of course. Come with me. And he steps out from behind the counter, brings you over to a room in the back, and immediately upon entering this room, just 1 second. Where is it? He opens a creaky driftwood door, revealing a cozy room warmed by a smoldering fire. Sitting in a rocking chair by the fire, stirring what appears to be this battered iron cauldron, is an absolutely ancient woman with greasy gray hair. Playing around her feet in the thick rag rugs covering the floor are 6 little creatures with the head and 4 paws of a cat, but the lower body of a fish. The room smells unpleasantly fishy and is much too humid for comfort. Granny Saltwood, this woman, this priestess is here to speak with you. Oh, of course, dearie. Come in, come in.
Hello, Granny Saltwood. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
When you look at her, she appears to be a sweet elderly lady. She is somewhat unfortunately ugly. You're not sure if that's just the way she looks or if she's just very old or something. She's wrapped in layers of blankets despite the oppressive humidity in here. And her hair is like lank and wet and peppered with seaweed and a few lumps that you can't quite determine the exact nature of. Yes. I have, I'm sorry, can you repeat your question, actually?
Oh, I was just greeting her.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't say anything yet. A sailor gave me your name. He brought me over to the island east of here. I had some rituals to perform out by the Shrine of Umberly.
Yes, I could tell. You are a priestess of the goddess of the sea. I could smell it on you before you even entered here. I am a worshipper myself. Have been ever since I was a girl.
Indeed. I have unfortunately come to this island with um, bad tidings from Umberly. I was uh, looking for answers immediately when I came here. I received bad omens on the ship and then bad omens out at the shrine. I was hoping to find a temple to her to learn more. But
Mm.
you, being a worshiper for so long, maybe you can help me.
Well, unfortunately, there is no such place on this island, or at least something you would call a temple. However, I have found a particular location, a place that is blessed by the goddess of the sea, a place that brings you ever closer to her, and your prayers ring true in her ears, truer than anywhere else on the Sword Coast.
I would love to know of this location if you'd share.
Oh, it would be a pleasure. I haven't been there in quite some time. My old legs aren't what they used to be. Thankfully, it's not too far north of here. Along the coast, there is a cave, you see? You enter this cave, and inside you will find a pool teeming with seaweed of all kind. You stand in this pool, and you will feel the goddess upon you.
And have you yourself been there?
Ah, many times. And back in my younger days, I would go there to collect the seaweed that grows only within that pool. Dead man's bootlaces, they call it here. A simple name, but it does have a rather useful effect. A necessary ingredient in the production of potions of water breathing.
I see. Helpful potions indeed. And if you don't mind me asking, what are these creatures you have
Oh,
crawling around here? They're very interesting.
these sea cubs. She kind of like nudges one and like picks it up and just goes "Rah," and it's just like it's just like mewling and like flailing a little bit. Oh, this one's called Lizzie.
Wow.
Sea cubs, you say, and cubs of what? I have never seen creatures such as these before.
Oh, these are the cubs of sea lions.
And you find yourself a collector then?
Oh, I take care of them at least. When they get too big, I release them out into the wild. They are quite dangerous when they are fully grown.
Well, they are beautiful creatures. I hope you keep some friendship with them once they do grow. Can I ask you though? When was the last time you ventured to this cave? Have you had any conversation with Umberly recently? She seems quite disturbed.
I cannot say I have in quite some time. Ah, the end of my days is soon upon me, I fear. But I would one day like to make one last pilgrimage there. I do have someone who goes and visits once a week to replenish my stores of dead man's bootlaces to continue making these potions. Unfortunately, I have ran all out of it. She looks to you and says, if you go and you return with, let's say, 10 handfuls of dead man's bootlaces for me, I'll craft a potion for you. Free of charge.
If I do journey there, I will be sure to bring at least that much back, and any extra you can keep as a token of good faith.
Oh, that would be most pleasurable to me. It is not too far from here, perhaps no more than an hour's walk. You can't miss it. It's a large cave in the side of the coast. Any more direction you can give me? Any specific?
or the name of the man who would journey there for you.
Ah, well, you won't find him here anytime soon. He has to travel all the way up from Fiskerbach. But I know that the stones to get down there are slippery. I believe he set up some kind of rope system so that he can climb down more safely. Should be easy enough to find.
Then I will keep an eye out for it, and I will be back here soon with your request.
Oh, excellent. I hope to see you soon then. One of the
Indeed.
one of the little sea cubs is like rubbing up against her leg. It's like a strange thing. It looks like a cat, the forelegs of a cat, but the lower body of a fish. So it just sort of like flops and drags itself across the floor. But it's cute nonetheless. So going back to go ahead.
I'm totally gonna ask for one of these as payment when I bring this seaweed back.
Okay.
Give me one of your pets.
So would Chimera and Domo like to head over to the Dragon Turtle Inn to have everybody meet up at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So everybody meets up at this point. It's like early afternoon. You got here very early in the morning, like just after dawn. And lunch is already prepared. This goat has been carved into cubes of meat for kebabs, as well as other fillets and things like that. And they threw them on this big fiery grill towards the center of the tavern. So the whole place reeks with the gamey stench of this roasting goat meat. Not too many offerings in terms of spices, primarily salt. This is a tundra island after all. But the meat is fresh and flavorful nonetheless. Domo and Chimera step inside as well. And so the whole crew, minus Aether, of course, finds himself here. What do you do?
Come in. Have a seat. Have a seat. I'll motion
Oh,
to.
wow.
This land is not too kind. I'm not sure how often we're gonna have fresh food like this, but I figured before we get started, we can treat ourselves.
Well, it's definitely been kind to you today, Sif. And all of us.
Yes.
What did you find out in the city?
Yeah. Thank you for the meal, Sif. Chimera, what did you find out at the shipwrights?
Oh, yeah, at the shipwright. At the shipwright, I went and I met a gnome there named Oda. Um, but she doesn't seem to know how to perform the magic that Zephyr suggested she would. But she did point me into a location where we could potentially find someone that knows how to perform this magic. She said there was a place called Orlumber, and apparently that's where they have some of the more renowned upscale uh, uh, ports and repair shops in the area, and we could probably find someone that could help us there.
Do any of you know where all lumber is? Do we know that?
Sure. You look on the map. Let me pull that up now. Sword Coast. So Orlumber is far south between Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate.
Cool.
That's quite far away.
Yes.
It's back where we started.
Let me create a map thing. Just call it location of interest. And let me give it a little token. Let's see, maps. Nope. Map icons. Nope. You would think map icons. Here we go. Location of interest. Going back to Gunbarg.
I guess I'll continue by adding also before that I went and I met Saltwood, and I went and I asked about the happenings that were going on the island before we meet with the king tomorrow. And he said that there was a crash located in Kisserback, guarded by a Jarl far to the west. That's a few days' travel. And that's probably where the king may send us next to find out what's going on here.
They just said it was a wreck. Did you say what kind of wreck it was? Was it a pirate wreck?
That I'm not sure. He didn't specify, but if it's inland, it might be. I mean, it depends if it's on the coast or not. I think Kisserback is along the coast, so it's probably a shipwreck. It would be weird if it was anything but, right?
I'm gonna spread out a map on this table so we can figure out exactly where Fisher. It sounds like it would be on the coast. It's Fisherbach. I imagine they fish there, but okay, so it is on the coast.
Yeah. John showed the map, but I'm presuming in character that Chimera would not know that Fisherback is on the coast.
Sure.
Would we have access to some kind of map of the island that we could verify
Yeah,
with?
absolutely. You guys have a map.
So the king summons us here. There's a mysterious crash on the island, and suddenly there's a lot of dangerous things going on.
And I'll tell the group about what I found out about the other part of the island, the Baronzo. So, like, yeah, this island could be very haunted or something. Something eerie is going on.
They were talking about hauntings with you too. I also heard
Yeah,
that
that people
the mountains
would
are
come out
haunted.
cursed. Oh no! Yeah, and the
The
mines are
mountains are
like
also cursed.
everything's cursed on this island.
So if we go up, we get into the cursed mountains. If we go down, we get into the cursed mines. And if we stay where we are, we're in the cursed shipwrecks.
Apparently.
It's no small wonder there's no tourists here.
Well, I've heard very close by there is a cave that may be important to me. I was hoping to journey there possibly today. It is only an hour's journey, according to Granny Saltwood. She has some very cute animals with her that I am hoping to acquire. But besides that, I do wish to converse
You
with
want
my...
to steal her animals?
No, I don't want to steal them, but maybe there is a barter to be made. She is looking for things from this cave, but also I do need to speak to my goddess, and I have not heard much from her on the island that I journeyed to her with her shrine.
So you think this area is more in tune with this goddess that you're trying to speak to?
According to Granny Saltwood, yes, she has been a practitioner for some time. I think she is quite old and slightly disgusting, so I think she knows what she's talking about.
Do you feel it though? I don't have much of a part of that for myself, but I know a couple people at our village who are very in tune with who they worship, and they always seem to have a affinity for knowing where these places are that are more closely related to their gods. Do you feel something here that's different than on the ocean?
Not particularly in this town. I conversed with one of the sailors who brought me to the island, and they seem to worship more of the older gods here. But Granny Saltwood, she had an air about her that suggests that this place is more sacred.
We don't have to meet this guy until tomorrow. I wouldn't mind going out into the forest for, another trek. Been cooped up too long anyway.
Yeah, stretch our legs for a little bit.
All right. So the group of you all decide to head north now.
Sure.
All right. You
Yeah.
gather your belongings.
Yeah.
Still daylight.
You gather your belongings and you begin heading north along the coast. It isn't long, actually, before you reach the location that you presume to be this cave. And sure enough, sort of just along the bend here, and in fact, I'll put your little token here to represent you've moved. You can see from a distance there's this cave that is surrounded by this incredibly rocky shore. So even if you were coming in by boat, it would have to be a very small sort of rowboat in order to navigate this treacherous rocky area. Instead, just as Granny Saltwood mentioned, you find upon the cliff above the cove itself is a rope tethered to a sturdy looking stone from which you can drop yourselves down. And so you find yourselves here.
It's just like a hill and we're at the bottom of it.
So this is a hill that you're at the top of. This is a rope that you can drop down about 20 feet to this cave entrance.
Okay.
Well, I brought you all out here. I suppose I'll go first.
I'll hold the rope for some extra stability, but does this rope look like it's like on there good? Is it gonna come out?
It seems fairly sturdy.
Okay.
It's a little dry because of the ocean winds, so a little rough on your hands as you go down, but it seems sturdy enough to carry you. Clearly it has been pulled from a ship at some point.
I'll head down as well.
Okay, so who's going in first?
Me.
Yeah. You don't have any reason to think there's anything dangerous down there, right, Domo?
Not specifically, but Umberly is an indifferent goddess. I do not look for particularly safe passage here either.
Alright, I'll hold it and make it easy for you to get down. See you soon.
Okay. So, Domo, you make your way down first onto the edge of the cove, and you can hear the sound of the water lapping up against the stone, rocky shore here. Sif, you begin making your way down as well. Chimera and Lumen, which one of you would like to go next?
I guess I'll go. And I think Nina's character's name is Kai. You just said my
Yeah.
last name.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll go last. I'll bring up the rear.
Cool.
So Chimera, you drop down, and then Kai. And so you see yourself standing in front of this cave entrance. It's about 20 feet below the rocky coastline, like I mentioned. There is as you manage to enter the cavern, despite the slick rocks and pounding waves, sea spray begins to fill the air, but doesn't conceal this thick driftwood beam embedded into the stone above your head. Hanging from the beam is a mess of tangled ropes, which swing in the wind.
I'll spark a torch here and just kind of walk up.
Sure. Torch. Boop. So most of you have dark vision, actually. I think
Oh yeah,
this
that's
crew.
right. Actually.
I think does everybody in this crew have dark? Yep, everybody in this crew has dark vision. So.
All right, I will take out the torch
Nice.
and realize I don't need to and put it back.
So you should see actually with full illumination on your characters already.
So what are we looking for here, Domo? They wanted help to find something.
Yes. Granny Saltwood herself needs
Elfger.
the dead man's bootlaces, a seaweed that grows only in these caves, I believe. I was looking to attune myself a little bit more. I have not heard a clear message from my goddess yet. She is displeased, but I am wondering why.
Do you think she's displeased with you or something
Not
else?
not with me specifically, but rather, I think the situation here. I do not believe we will find anything good in this shipwreck we are coming to.
Well, the gods are very real. It's good to have them on our side. I'll help you get some of this seaweed. I'm gonna go look for some seaweed.
Okay. So you can see immediately that there are sort of two entryways before you, each set with wooden planks in the floor to create a passage of steps, so that you're not forced to utilize the slick, watery rocks, which could potentially lead to slipping or falling. You see one that leads to the north here and one that leads to the east in this direction.
I do suggest we stick together. As I said, Umberly is not a particularly kind goddess, and I would not be surprised if there were some tests ahead.
Do you think it's wise for me to take the lead, or I could help? If anything happens or pops out, I could defend you a little bit better if I'm in front of you. But if you think that might also displease Umberly, I'll defer to you.
I think taking the lead is fine with me. For you to do.
Okay,
So
let's go investigate.
So you begin stepping into this direction. Actually, I just remember. Can you see in this room right now?
No, I can see a line
Yeah.
here, and I can't see
Gotcha,
past this
okay.
line.
So that means that your characters you can't see in complete darkness, which is great. That's what dark vision is supposed to do. So now would be the time to produce a torch. And
Good thing
just
I
click
do
that
have
button.
this torch.
All right. So you activate, you snap some tinder together, and you light this torch, and you can see that there's a pool of water in the center that fills the majority of this cavern. Growing within it are dozens of kinds of seaweeds.
How deep does the water look? Oh, is that Matt?
Matt, are you there?
Hey guys, I can't play. I'm just listening in.
Sure. No problem.
So we
Hey,
just
Matt.
really
Hey,
awkward
everyone.
timing.
Sorry, I just got out of work now.
No problem.
I'm waiting for the car home, so I'm just gonna listen in.
Sure, no
Sathir
problem.
was too afraid to come to the caves with us.
Yeah, he was a little baby.
He was a little baby
It's
about
like,
it.
ooh, spooky cave. Ooh.
I don't want this. Trust me. Sathir got everything you guys want. Trust me.
Does anybody want to clue Zathir into sort of broadly what has happened so far?
The island is cursed.
Yes, that's a good explanation. We've been in the town. We've been talking to a bunch of people. We haven't really done anything yet, but now we're gonna go get some seaweed from a cave, and we're in the cave now.
So are you guys cursed now that we're on the island?
I think we're all cursed one way or the other once we landed here.
All right, so you step over here and you see this pool full of different kinds of seaweeds. You identify one of them as Dead Man's Bootlaces.
All right. I guess I'll go in and I'll fish it out.
Okay, so you step into the water. It's like knee high, I'll say, and you begin reaching down and plucking these long thin strands of seaweed, and you gather a couple of handfuls.
Sif will also go on over here and find some seaweed to get.
What about Kai? What is Kai up to?
I'm just observing what's going on. I don't need to grab any seaweed.
Sure. And how about Domo?
I think I'm praying at this point. Just seeing if I feel anything here.
You just want as much as we can get, Domo? Just as many things that we can bring back?
As much as we can carry, yep.
Okay.
Pull in here,
You-
it's all over here.
Domo, you definitely do feel something, but you do recall what Granny Saltwood said, that you have to stand in the water in order to feel this connection deepen.
All right, I'm getting in up to my knees.
Okay. So Chimera and Sif, you're both occupying yourself.
Remember,
Kai,
there's a lot of seaweed. They want us to get all the seaweed.
you're standing around. You're
I'm
looking
lifeguarding.
around, you're observing, making sure
With a whistle?
the kids are not drowning in the kiddie pool. And
No running.
Domo, you
No diving.
all of the volume around you just drowns out. And you enter and you begin your prayer, and it's like everything around you begins to go dark. When you open your eyes, you find yourself not in this room, but you're completely underwater, falling deeper and deeper down into the depths of a murky green ocean. When you look above you, you can see the light of the surface world. And when you look below you, you can see the infinitely dark black depths. As you continue dropping down into this abyss, you find yourself floating in what seems to be a completely perfectly black void. And that's when a light appears in front of you, illuminating a figure of immense proportion before you. This womanly figure with features like that of a person, perhaps an elf, you're not quite sure. Scales and fish-like features cover her face. Her body is wreathed in armor of seashells and coral. In her hand is this brutal trident that seems to be as big as an entire castle tower. You are like an ant, both in dimension and in strength in comparison to this person who stands before you. And she says to you in a deep and booming voice, "My devoted priestess, hear my words echo through the depths of the ocean, for a dire imbalance has befallen our sacred realm. A celestial intruder, a wretched being fallen from the heavens, dares to corrupt the purity of our domain. The seas, once under my benevolent rule, now churn with discord and chaos. This interloper threatens the very essence of our existence, and it is upon you, my chosen vessel, to restore the cosmic equilibrium." Hold on really quick, I want to try this. Hello, is my voice reverbing right now?
Keep
a little
talking.
bit, yeah.
As the tempests rage and the
Yes.
tides betray their once rhythmic dance, I call upon your unwavering loyalty. Embrace the darkness that courses through your veins, for it is in this shadowed embrace that you shall find the strength to confront this celestial trespasser. Let the wrath of the sea be your guiding force, and may your every step be shrouded in the abyssal might that flows from my divine essence. Together, we shall unleash a maelstrom of retribution upon the intruder, and the oceans will once again echo with the supremacy of our malevolence. Fear not the depths, my priestess, for in darkness you shall find your true power.
Fuck. Is she waiting for a reply?
If you would like to say something, you can.
I do not wish for any benevolence from you on our journey, but rather to guide my hand in the way forward and how I can best serve you and the sea in all that I do.
Seek the vessel that has crashed here long ago, not the alien interloper, the golden crown. Within you shall find treasure beyond all meaning, and with it you can destroy all of our enemies. And with that, your body begins rising up from the water. Everything begins shaking around you. And in a flash, you return to the realm of the living, your lungs full of water that you immediately begin to expel in this vicious, violent coughing fit.
Jesus, Dome, are you okay?
I am okay. I have heard what I needed to hear.
And what was that?
This shipwreck we are investigating, it seems to be outside intruders into this realm. I do not think the heart of the problem here is this shipwreck, but rather the Golden Crown, a name we have heard before. We need to find that ship.
I thought it was crashed. Wasn't that what Zathir told us, that his parents died in a shipwreck? Or am I
Yes.
misremembering?
Well, maybe I am misremembering, but I believe that is a separate shipwreck than that. Possibly at the bottom of the ocean. I think the shipwreck that is here is something else we need to deal with as well. They have
If only Zathir were here.
yes.
I know, right?
Is Zathir here?
Oh yeah, is
Yeah.
Zathir here?
No, he's in the back of a cab right now.
The ship that crashed here was recent, and Zathir's
Yeah,
parents
are
died a
these
long
two
time ago.
different shipwrecks? Because I do have the Golden Crown is listed as a shipwreck, but I assume these are two different shipwrecks.
Yes, they are two
Okay.
separate shipwrecks. There is a something that has crashed here on this island. But the shipwreck of the Golden Crown that you've heard of would be a little over a decade ago.
Okay.
Yes, I believe further answers lie with the Golden Crown. I do believe we need to investigate further what has happened here, as our mission and our mission brings us here, and there may be foes to be dealt with there, but it is of utmost importance that we find the Golden Crown as well.
I'm more than happy to help, but my primary objective here is to find my friends if they're still alive. If the king tells us tomorrow to go to the other shipwreck and not the Golden Crown, I might have to do that.
Of course, I will be there the whole way.
And so your group, you've collected pretty large amount of this seaweed, several
Just
pounds of it.
tons and tons. Every single thing we can have that has seaweed, just full of it.
Two backpacks full of seaweed. An ample supply, you feel.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you guys like to do in this cave?
I
Momo,
mean,
do you want to
I'm
look?
cool at exploring the north side.
Yeah, you want to check through the rest of this cave? Maybe something else will
Mm,
happen.
Yeah, I think so.
Squish, squish, squish,
Yeah, your boots are full of water now.
squish, squish, and seaweed. Oh, they don't hear us coming. Oh God, it's
So
sleeping something.
as you round the corner here, you can see there's this natural stair of rocks covered in of wet rocks covered in these wooden planks that lead up to a cave that reeks of fish, and slumbering inside is a hulking beast. The front of the creature is that of a scaled green lion, but its hindquarters resemble those of a giant fish. The creature seems well over 10 feet long, and it has a chain around its neck. Strewn around the monstrosity are handfuls of fish guts. The beast's nostrils flare. From a distance, you notice that it seems to be sleeping. It doesn't seem to have noticed your approach in this moment.
Domo, didn't Granny say that she would let these go?
Yes, this is an affront to what I believed her to be. To see something like this chained up, I
Well, when
do
you
wish to free it.
really quickly, it doesn't seem to be chained up to anything.
Oh,
It seems like there is a chain around its neck, and upon further investigation, you notice a couple of other things. One, the creature itself seems to be injured, badly injured on its front flippers. And two, the chain on the end of it has what appears to be a realistic humanoid eyeball, which kind of flitters and darts around the room. Not darts as in like it's flying around, but like it turns and looks around like eyeballs in someone's head. Eventually, it looks over at the group of you, and it just focuses on your group.
The eye does.
Yes.
So there's a chain around its neck, like a jewelry type of chain with an eye on it that's moving.
Yes.
Okay, so not like a manacled chain.
No.
Okay.
hmm.
So it's got a nice little eyeball for some jewelry.
Someone's got a pet. Hmm.
Did Granny mention anything about this sleeping sea lion or any sea lion?
Yeah, she knew they got big and dangerous, right? Is this one of hers?
She did. I do not know if it is one of hers, but uh, I would not be surprised. Um, I'm gonna try and can I heal this thing? Does healing it wake it up? It's sleeping, right?
Most likely, the sound of your spell would wake it up.
This thing
I
seems kind of dangerous, doesn't it? If we wake it up, it might attack us.
it does, and she did mention that I would not want to put any of you in danger, but I cannot bear to see this creature so injured in here. If
I feel the
you
same way you do.
if you want to retreat to the ropes, that's fine with me. I will attempt to heal this and leave.
No, I'll
I
stay with you for sure. I've lost enough friends to larger monsters.
I am a little afeared of the eyeball on its chain, though. I do not know what magic would cause this. Does anybody know?
If someone would like to take a guess, they can make an Arcana test.
It does seem like something is keeping this animal here. Like they're feeding it or maybe it's just taking roost here.
The 12, you're not sure. Could be a magic item.
Um, can I do a ritual of augury and see if what Umberly thinks about healing this thing?
Sure. I'm assuming you kind of step back to immediately
bones.
you get whoa.
I get whoa
Well, you
for
get
healing.
you get wheel and you get whoa.
Wheel and whoa.
Yeah.
So, what's the outcome?
Wheel and whoa. Um, I cannot, in good faith, leave this creature here so injured.
You can attempt to heal it, but if it wakes up and attacks, we might have to put it down.
Or we could run.
What do
So
you
you'd
guys
be
do?
okay with leaving it?
I wouldn't mind leaving it.
We could just leave it and ask Granny Saltwood what the heck is going on there.
I see no reason to get hurt or hurt if I don't have to, so. If you feel
Yeah.
fine with that, I'm good with leaving.
Also,
It's
she
probably
said
okay on
somebody
its own.
visits here a lot. So they're probably aware of this creature.
That's true. I will leave some of my rations for it, just in case.
Sure. Oh yeah, you drop some rations on the ground, and your group head back up the rope, and you travel an hour back south to the city of Gunbarg. Do you head straight to Granny Saltwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think
got off all the seaweed.
so. Yeah.
I carry this
Yeah.
around town.
The group of you head over to Granny Saltwood. You head into the storefront, and the manager there, he ushers you into the back. Granny Saltwood in a different position, stirring a different cauldron, a different concoction this time. She goes, "Oh, came back so quickly."
We did. It was what I believe to be a good experience. I spoke with Umberly herself.
Ah, I could tell that you were one of her chosen. Does she give you tidings of some sort? A path
She
forward, perhaps?
she did. She told me what I needed to hear, and we have brought an abundance of seaweed for you.
Start laying down bushels of seaweed.
Ah, yes, yes, right here would be perfect. Now, it will take me some time, perhaps a day to craft for the time necessary to craft a potion for your reward, but when you return, it shall be waiting for you.
Be sure to warn anybody you send next that there's a sea lion camping in that cave and they have a taste for living things.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have reminded you. Oh, slipped my mind. That's Francis.
Oh?
Oh, yes, Francis.
He's yours?
Well,
One with the necklace?
yes. Yes, I've fashioned that necklace for him. There's a small enchantment on it that lets me make sure that no near-dwellers enter that shrine unannounced.
Francis seemed slightly unwell. Is he okay?
Oh, he's always getting into trouble. Getting into fights with some of the other creatures that roam the perimeter of the island. I'm sure he'll be fine. I can see everything that he's up to. All I have to do is concentrate, and I can see through that eyeball. In fact, I saw the group of you enter there.
Oh. It seems like a very powerful item.
Oh, well. You could say that, yes. But you must be tired from your journey. Let me gather this seaweed from you, and I'll be sure to have that potion ready for you in the morning.
Besides the potion, I was wondering, with this amount of seaweed that we've brought back, I have grown quite partial to these pups. Um, I know you love them very much, but could I possibly ease your burden at all? I would be sure to take good care of it.
Of course. This one. And she reaches down and she just plucks it off of the ground, picking it up by the scruff, and it just sort of dangles there. Here, she just tosses it at you. You'd be doing me a favor. They do need to be close to water, so just make sure that they have access to the ocean for at least a few hours a day. They only eat fish and meat. Don't give them any sea cucumbers.
I'll be sure to take great care of it.
I can't remember the name of that one, so I suppose it's up to you.
Is it a boy or a girl?
I
can't tell.
have no clue. Let's see. Is it a boy or a girl?
Hasn't really come up.
Odds boy, tails girl. Odds and tails. Odds are even. So odds boy, evens girl. It's a girl.
Odds and tails.
All right. So you have yourself a female sea pup or sea cub. In a few years' time, in a few months' time, it'll grow up into a fully grown sea lion.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You got a name in mind, Domo.
I do not. I look to all of you. Let's name it together.
Dee Dee.
Gunderlandy.
PP.
Like
Petra.
Petra. It never gets old.
DD is good. Close to PP.
Right.
DD.
Dee Dee.
All right. So why
Give
don't
me
we,
sweet Dee.
let's see. Why don't we call it there? I know Matt's listening in, but we can get you guys started essentially tomorrow morning. Fast forwarding to that, and yeah. So there's no experience, obviously. There's no. It's
Do we level up?
there's
Level 4
no,
now.
you don't level up yet. Probably level up probably next session, but I gotta see. It depends on what you guys do. But yeah, I'll finish this recording now.